Huo Yuhao's escape from the Sun Moon Empire should have been a moment of relief, a brief breath of freedom snatched from the jaws of a deadly pursuit. Yet, as he dragged Ju Zi with him across the frozen wilderness, their reunion unfolded into a storm of emotions. Suppressed longing, buried memories, and the sharp sting of choices made long ago. The animated adaptation of episode 130 offers viewers only fragments of this turbulent encounter. Carefully filtered and trimmed, but beneath those cuts lies a far more complex and painful story. In the novel, the moment the two saw each other again was filled with unspoken tension. Ju Zi, hardened by her path of revenge and political entanglement, still faltered when facing the boy she had once given up everything for. Huo Yuhao, meanwhile, looked at her with a soft, almost nostalgic sorrow, a mix of guilt, affection, and the heavy weight of fate pressing down on him. He had never wanted to become Ju Zi's enemy, never wished for their paths to veer into opposite directions. Yet the war tearing the continent apart forced them into roles neither fully chose. In the original version, when Ju Zi asked him if he had ever loved her, Yuhao's answer changed everything. He admitted with a raw honesty that stripped him bare, that before he loved Guangdonger, before he found the light that would guide him through many storms, his first stirring of affection had been toward Ju Zi. This confession was not a romantic rekindling, not a betrayal of Donghua, but a quiet acknowledgement of a past that shaped him. It was a small, tender truth, one the animation chose to erase completely. There, Yuhao simply urges Ju Zi to leave with him, offering her escape, but withholding the emotional vulnerability that once defined their relationship. Their eyes still carried emotion, but restrained, subtle, distant, like two stars once aligned now, drifting far apart. The farewell kiss, too, vanished from the screen. In the original storyline, Ju Zi kissed Yuhao not only out of longing, but calculation. She had prepared the drug known as 10,000 intoxicants, coating her lips with it, fully aware that Yuhao would never suspect her. The kiss was both a stolen moment and a trap, one last selfish desire wrapped around a mission she could not afford to fail. Yuhao collapsed, unconscious, leaving Shuidi and Tianming in panic, unwilling to watch their host's body fall to harm again. But the animation, seeking to maintain distance and avoid romantic ambiguity, removed this scene entirely, cutting the thread that once bound the two together in bittersweet memory. Yet even without the kiss, the emotional entanglement between them remained intense. Their reunion, brief as it was, carried the heavy air of inevitability. Ju Zi had made her choice long ago, the path of vengeance, of loyalty to Shu Tianran, of reshaping the fate of the continent by her own hands. She confessed this with the kind of calm madness that only someone with nothing left to lose can muster. She declared that Shu Tianran was her benefactor, that the Sun Moon Empire was her cause, that she would not abandon her ambition even for Yuhao. Her words cleaved the thin thread holding them together. And Yuhao, unable to reconcile the girl he once knew with the general standing before him, took out the white tiger dagger. At her neck, its cold edge drew a faint line of red. It was a moment frozen in time, his hand trembling, her gaze unwavering. She told him to kill her if he truly wished to stop her, told him she would never step back, never waver from the road she had chosen. But Yuhao could not do it. No matter how much she pushed, no matter how fiercely she played the role of enemy, he could not bring himself to end her life. Instead, with a sudden, shocking resolve, he turned the dagger inward. The blade pierced his chest. Blood spilled across the snow in vivid red, splashing against frozen branches as he stumbled back. The pain was sharp, but the emotional weight behind the act was far heavier. Yuhao declared that he owed her a debt, that she had once saved him, that she had once stood by him, that he refused to owe anyone anything. By harming himself, he repaid her in the only way he could, while refusing to kill her. It was a bond severed not by anger, but sacrifice. This act of self-inflicted pain was his final farewell. With this wound, Yuhao symbolically ended what remained between them. He announced that next time they met, on the battlefield or beyond it, he would hold nothing back. No more favors, no more hesitation, no more blurred lines between affection and duty. Ju Zi, however, was not done. As Yuhao dragged his injured body away, his blood marking the snow like a trail of fading warmth, Ju Zi reached for a prepared soul-guiding syringe. Her hands shook, not from fear, but from the knowledge that once she completed this mission, even the illusion of closeness between them would vanish forever. She collected his blood, the same genetic material that, in the original story, she obtained through the drug kiss. The intent was the same, to create Shu Yunhan, the future child whose existence would forever complicate Yuhao's life. In this adaptation, the method changed, but the consequence remained. With the blood in her hands, Ju Zi secured the Sun-Moon Empire's future plans, ensured the next step of her strategy, and quietly sealed Huo Yuhao's fate as an unwilling future father. An ironic twist he would only learn long after this painful parting. As Yuhao disappeared into the white landscape, bruised, bleeding, and carrying the last remnants of an old affection fading into cold wind, Ju Zi watched him go with eyes that held both sorrow and iron resolve. Their paths diverged here, not gently, but violently, cut apart by duty, ambition, fate, and the choices they no longer had the luxury to undo. In the end, episode 130 became more than a mere adaptation. It became a study of the thin line between love and loyalty, of how two people can care deeply yet still walk into opposite futures. It showed how war reshapes the heart, how ideals shatter tenderness, and how sometimes the only way to protect someone is to hurt yourself instead. And as Ju Zi held Yuhao's blood in her hands, knowing what it meant for her future plans, the silent distance between them grew wider than any battlefield. Their story did not end here, but it changed irreversibly, setting the stage for consequences that would echo far beyond the snowy forest. Thank you for watching and following this emotional and turbulent chapter of Soul Land 2. The bond between Huo Yuhao and Ju Zi has once again shown us how complicated human feelings can become when fate, war, and responsibility collide. Every choice they make pushes them further along their destined paths, and every step forward leaves deeper echoes for the future. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to keep exploring the hidden layers behind each episode, don't forget to stay tuned for the next update. Your support keeps the journey going. Until next time, take care, and we'll meet again in the next episode.